evening. This is your Mayor, Col Murray, with another council meeting report. One of the very early items on the agenda this evening was a somewhat controversial development application. This was a development application for a business that had been operating illegally for a wood processing facility out on a rural area. And council did approve the development application, which was actually retrospective. There were quite a number of conditions imposed on the development which council was quite comfortable with, dealt with the concerns of some community representations. This is one of those odd occasions when sometimes the community concerns are not quite reflective of the actual planning process in New South Wales. It's a very, very complex process, and council did approve this one, and there's quite a number of jobs have been firmed up and substantiated and in a permissible development. So rather unusual, but that was the very first item on the agenda this evening. So there were a couple of different other recommendations this evening that council did consider, and one of them was off the back of some very strong lobbying and very constructive lobbying too, I might add, from the community and the media for council to consider the opening under level 5 water restrictions, which we are expecting very soon, of our South and West Tamworth Scully Pool. The recommendation was to just open the Scully Pool, but subsequent to those strong lobbying from many of the different user groups from Cotingle, council also resolved to keep the Cotingle Pool open. Whilst this constitutes a change to our drought management plan, the fundamentals that underpin our drought management plan are the usage of potted water, and council staff have identified some other areas of water which we can maintain those pools by the use of groundwater, so it doesn't actually have an impact on our potted water or our long-term water security. So council did resolve to approve the opening of those two pools for what we believe will be the summer period. Part of the recommendation was to institute a review if and when the dam level gets to 15%, so a little bit of a safeguard there and a safety net. But I think there were some fairly happy swimmers that left the chambers this evening off the back of that motion. There was another quite a complex motion which introduced the topic of our communications plan through drought initiatives, and when we move further into the tightening of water restrictions under level 5, I guess the main thing that came out of that report was how we deal with the communication with the community and what triggers might be introduced and understood in terms of diminishing water security or water supplies for the longer term. And I guess one of the most important facts out of that whole report was the identification of 15%, 10% and 5% might well be triggers that will necessitate different measures of communication out there with the broader community. So, as you would expect, lots of talk about water as we move into this seemingly never-ending drought, but I guess one thing I'd certainly like to inform the community is that we do have our water management task force set up now with a lot of other industry representatives and community and agency representatives. We have our drought management plan. We are considering extra options, and just like to confirm with the community that there is a very, very solid plan as to how we manage our water restrictions into the future, and there'll be lots of more communication in this space in the future. So thank you very much for listening this evening. This is your Mayor, Col Murray, with another council meeting report closing off.